Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're unpacking something absolutely fascinating, a very specific, kind of apocalyptic worldview about human suffering. Now, just to set the stage right off the bat, every single claim and prophecy we're digging into today comes from one exact source, and that is a written response by a man named Zhu Feng. He's the founder of a movement called Life Qianyuan. We aren't here to judge whether he's right or wrong. Instead, we're going to use his text like a map. We want to trace his exact logic to see exactly how a movement like this justifies itself in our modern world. Let's get into it.
Humanity suffers so much. Why doesn't God intervene? Man, that is a heavy, universal question, isn't it? Well, according to the text, a netizen actually asked this exact question online. And it was that specific question that sparked the entire impassioned response from Zhu Feng that we're looking at today. He uses this massive question as a springboard. But his answer? Yeah, it's probably not what that person was expecting. Because his answer is God already has.
So before we look at the proof he offers for that intervention, we really need to lock in on who we're talking about here. The movement is Life Qianyuan, and its founder is Zhu Feng. According to his own writings, absolutely everything we're about to cover, the warnings, the ultimate solutions, these really striking claims, they all come straight from him. Understanding that he views himself as a literal self-proclaimed messenger is totally crucial if you want to understand the logic of this entire document.
Section 1, the timeline of disaster warnings. Let's see exactly how he builds this argument.
So Zhu Feng doesn't just say God intervened in some vague, mysterious way. No, he points to a very precise, documented track record of warnings. He starts way back in early April 2009. He claims he told humanity that the whole 2012 apocalypse thing wouldn't be one giant world-ending event, but rather a series of escalating wave-like disasters. Fast forward to August 1st, 2017, and he issues this massive warning. If we don't drastically change how we live and produce things, we're looking at total ecological collapse in 15 to 20 years. And that entire timeline builds right up to August 18th, 2021, which is when he published this exact text, basically using his past predictions as absolute proof of his ongoing mission.
Section 2. The Noah's Ark to Save Humanity.
Now, Zhu Feng didn't just shout doom and gloom into the void. According to the text, he actually built a literal lifeboat. He put together what he calls the 800 values for human beings in the new era. And, working with Life Qianyuan members, he created an entirely new lifestyle model. He's very explicit here. This community is God's ship of life, and he claims he is the messenger sent to harvest the mature crops, so to speak, and bring in this new era. He says he's been desperately trying to get people to board this ship so they can guarantee their safety against the coming storms.
And this comparison is just wild, because it perfectly captures his mindset. To make sense of why the public hasn't listened to him, Zhu Feng actually compares himself directly to the biblical Noah. You know the story. Noah's up on a mountain building a giant boat, getting totally mocked by a society that's just partying away. Well, Zhu Feng aligns himself directly with Noah. He says that for 18 years he has been out there on the internet strictly following God's will, begging people to get on his ship. The result? Complete rejection. Just like Noah, he says he was ignored, dismissed as a madman, and faced massive public backlash.
Section 3. Public Doubts and Zhu Feng's Rebuttal.
Okay, so here's where the tension really peaks. The public didn't just ignore this guy. According to Zhu Feng, they actively tore down his community, which he called God's kingdom or the second home, and they maliciously labeled it an evil home. They straight up called him a scammer, but listen to how fiercely he fires back. He challenges anyone to prove he ever scammed a single person out of money or sex during his entire 18-year mission. He points to thousands of articles he's written and insists they are all based entirely on facts. Basically, he's asking, if all of this isn't God intervening, what do you expect? God to literally carry you to heaven on his back?
Section 4. The Ultimate Warning for the Future.
So, because humanity refused to listen, Zhu Feng says people are just going to have to live by their own truth and face the consequences. He goes on this rapid-fire list of disasters he claims he already warned us about. We're talking plagues, massive widespread fires, catastrophic floods, hurricanes, devastating earthquakes, mass starvation, extreme shifts in heat and cold, and sweeping social turmoil. He notes he's written over 200 specific articles detailing all of this. His point is brutally blunt here. If you ignore the warnings now, you're not even going to have the chance to cry when all of this happens.
Which leads right into his stark, uncompromising conclusion. Zhu Feng looks straight at the reader and says, when you suffer, do not blame God for not saving you. Blame your own ignorance. Blame your arrogance, your conceit, and the fact that you have no God in your heart. Then he makes this massive theological claim. He states that he literally embodies all deities, Buddhas, immortals, and divine messengers, all rolled into one single entity sent to save humanity. So, if he's reaching out to save you and you actively turn your back, you have absolutely no one to blame but yourself.
And I really want to leave you with this final, intense quote that ends his text. Listen to this. Cows to the cowshed, pigs to the pigsty, demons take demon descendants, immortals to the immortal realm, everyone go back to your own home. Wow. It is just such a profound, absolute statement of division, isn't it? It represents a worldview where your final fate is totally locked in, based on how you responded to this one specific message. It's an uncompromising end to a truly extraordinary document. So how does that level of absolute certainty shape the way a movement like this operates in the real world? Well, that's something really worth reflecting on. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer.